Hi, I'm Matt from REAX, and this is the Kit Room. In each episode of the Kit Room, we'll bring one of our brand partners in to show their equipment, how it's best used, how to take care of it, and all the features and benefits so you can get the most from the kit that you use. Then, we will hand the kit to one of our instructors who will test it and play with it here in our centre in Blackpool and give you their honest opinion.
It's so much easier to get on and off.
This is the REAX Kit Room. Joining me in the Kit Room today, I have Andy from NLG. Welcome, Andy.
Thank you.
As you can see, we've got a great array of kit to go through with you today. But my first and most burning question is, Andy, what does NLG stand for?
Never let go.
What a fantastic name for a climbing brand.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Tell us about NLG. What does it stand for?
So we are a safety group or a safety company in dropped object prevention, and we're innovators in the market. We often lead in what we come out with.
Fantastic. So that idea of you're up there, you're working at height, you're working in a confined space and where things might drop, that you can actually get back to that piece of kit really nice and easy, yeah?
Yep, well, the idea is that it doesn't drop in the first place.
Fantastic.
So the furthest it will go is the end of a lanyard.
What a great way of looking at it, that it doesn't drop in the first place. You bought some kit in for us today. I believe the first thing that you've bought in is the Ascent bucket, which we've got here. Is that this one here?
It is.
Yeah, look at that. There you go.
So the Ascent Range is our premium lifting bucket range. It's made from a proprietary material called Megatex, which is 7 times more abrasive resistant than the top military equivalent.
Wow.
So designed really to be used obviously in all different aspects of life, whether it be ropes access or construction. It's a load rated bucket, so all of that information is printed onto the bucket itself. So this particular one, you can see it's rated for 100 kilograms. It's a 30 litre capacity. The Megatex is incredibly puncture and abrasive resistant, as I said, coupled with the hard base that we've put into a reinforced base. It means when you're putting it down in some areas, rocks, construction sites, it's not puncturing through. It's designed so it sits just off the ground. Okay. So if you're in water, it's not taking a load of puddle, but it's also got drainage holes in the bottom of the bucket. The Megatex material itself is wipeable, so it's easy to maintain it and keep it looking nice. It's packed full of other features, so all of the bucket has a lifting point, okay, which is designated in orange, so we can lift 100 kilograms. What we've also done is it has a connection point on the bottom that's capable of withstanding 50 kilograms of load. So obviously in the primary bucket you can't exceed 100 kilograms, but you may have a bulky material that doesn't go to 100 kilograms, but it's filled the bucket. You could then daisy chain others on as long as you don't exceed 50 kilograms off of the bottom of each one, and you don't exceed 100 on the top one.
Lift 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah.
What a great feature. So where are you finding the people who are using the Ascent bucket? What industry?
In all sorts of industry. Ropes access for putting ropes in. One of the features inside the bucket for ropes access is it has a wide throat on the lid, so that it's easy to get that fully down. And that's not an accidental feature, it's deliberate so that we have full access into the bucket. Once you get inside the bucket, you've got points for attaching ropes. So if it's in rope climbing, both top and bottom. So you can put one rope in, you can attach it to the red, top end of the rope goes to the top of the red, then you know which rope you're pulling. And again, we've got the green loops, you get 2 ropes in there. We've got anchor points in the bucket. Each of them is rated for a 5 kilogram load. So you could have your lanyards with tools attached to that. It's also got a frame built into the lid, which is fully removable. It can be removed very quickly. So that's that out. What that allows is it's a little bit softer at that point, and also you can collapse the bucket down, a little twisting motion and press on it, and it will collapse down. The advantage of that, though, is it keeps the top open, so when you're trying to gain access or you're feeding in damp ropes, it makes life very easy.
Fantastic.
Okay?
Obviously, the Ascent Range is colour-coded with the green, so it just comes in different sizes, does it?
That's right. Starts off at a mini, which we don't actually have here. We just released that at the A+A show in Germany.
We'll have to see if we can get one of those, folks.
A new mini with a closure system we call pop-stop, which literally just clicks back and gives you full aperture opening. Can't remember the exact capacity. It's about 3 litres, 5 litres.
And the range goes from that 3 litre up to
the Hall, which we don't have here as well, which is 70 litres.
Wow.
And 100 kilogram lifting capacity. All of the Ascent range are load rate certified. They're compliant with LOLA. With the Ascent bucket, for instance, there is a strap. So you've got the roll top, and that itself is relatively secure, but in order to meet requirements, if you're lifting, there is then an additional strap, and that is for inversion purposes. With that compression strap on, if as you're lowering it, the bucket gets caught on something and inverts upside down, the content won't come out.
So, a functional piece of kit, a great looking piece of kit, and I think you'll agree, could be used for many, many applications. So Andy, as well as the buckets and pouches you brought through, you brought us an Aero pouch.
Yep.
Explain.
Okay, so some of the stuff that people will work with, bolts, screws, washers, it's just not practical to tether them without making the job really onerous. So the idea behind the Aero pouch is that it's a device that we can carry our little components in. It's attached to your belt or your harness. You're able to then go in, take out, let's say, a bolt. You decide to change it for a different bolt. You put it back in.
Right, okay. I need to look at this. So I take the bolts out. There you go. I've got two bolts in my hand now. I feel like I'm Paul Daniels or something. And there's nothing.
Magic trick.
I'm putting it in, and then, well, mine officially blown on that one, Andy. What a great piece of kit.
So that's the magic moment, as people often say.
Yeah,
it's magic or it's magnets, and actually there's no magnets involved in
right.
it. No moving parts. It's just a clever design with a little valving system in there that when things fall against it, it closes up, so nothing comes out. It's got a belt. It can attach on a belt, or it can attach to a harness, so it doesn't move around all over the place. It's really easy to get in and out. It comes in 3 different versions. So this is the standard version. Mm-hmm. There is a clear version, so clear with a mesh system in it, just so you can see inside it a bit better. The standard one has the mega mesh that allows for drainage of water if there anything like that was getting there, but it also allows light, so when you look in, you can actually see what you're picking up. And then there's an XL version. People quite often will put their screwdrivers and things in here as well, because it's a great solution.
Yeah, well, it's a great idea. And how much do these go for?
So this is £49.
Seems like a great piece of kit, and you can find both the Aero pouch and the Ascent bucket and pouch on our website at www.reaxlimited.com and go to the shop. So, before Andy came to visit us here at our training centre in Blackpool, the good folks at Never Let Go sent us an array of equipment to play with. And one of the things I found in the box was this roll of tape. Andy, can you explain to us what on earth this is?
Yeah, so this product is called Tether tape. A lot of tools come with manufactured tethering points, or if you take some tools, they have a shape to them. So what we mean by that is it's wide at one end, it's wide at the other end. You can attach something that won't then come off. So there are various different options there. Some tools, however, don't have anything where you can attach into. So that's where the tether tape system allows us to create an instant tether on a tool that is load rated for 5 kilograms.
Okay, so what's so special about this tape that it won't just stretch and snap?
Yep, so it's always a good point because people always ask that, it's just like a piece of gaffer tape or something else. The tape has a fiberglass core, which means that it can be load rated and certified. And that's really an essential part of anything we do at NLG. Everything is load rated and certified for purpose. So that core gives us consistency for the testing.
Fantastic. Can you give us a demonstration of how we might?
Yep, so this one you'll see is already on there. Oops.
I'll take the tape.
That's all right. So to remove it, all you need is a knife, and you basically cut through the tape. So that's it off. If I give you that hammer now and you just feel the handle.
Oh, there's no tackiness, there's no...
So there's no glue or stick involved in this. It's a self-bonding tape. So that's one I did a few hours ago. It's not fully bonded yet, but within 24 hours that becomes a single piece. So when applying the tape, you need a D-ring, okay? So that gives us the actual tethering point. And you need enough tape for about six to 8 times around the tool.
Okay. So you've got about a foot of tape there.
Yeah, roughly. That's more from experience of doing this.
Yeah.
But it does vary a little bit from tool to tool. The tape, as you see, it's not sticky.
No.
Has a backing piece on it. It's essential the backing piece is removed. That's purely and simply while it's on the roll, it doesn't bond to itself, which is what it will actually do. So you take the tool, you place your tape over the handle of the tool and place the D-ring onto the tool. And you want it so that the actual ring sits just off the end of the tool. What you'll then do is bring the tape around, and then once you've got it once round, it's really important to stretch the tape. Now you'll see at the moment the sides of the tape are straight.
Yes.
When I apply pressure, when I get to enough pressure, you'll see that it becomes wavy down the edge.
Fantastic. I wonder if we can get the camera in so that we can pick that up nice and tight.
So, straight edged at the moment. As I'm now pulling on the tension, you'll see the edge change shape. And so it's got a little wavy effect to it.
Fantastic.
What that allows is the chemical that's in the tape to bond to itself and react. Okay. So, keeping the tension on, we've basically got to go around 6 to 8 times.
Just like I'm putting a new bit of tape on my tennis racket handle, yeah?
Yep. When I first joined the company, I thought it was a bit like putting the grip onto a squash racket.
Yeah.
And then just feather it out at the end. And now we've got an instantaneous tether.
Fantastic.
So it will bond in 24 hours, but instantly it's ready to go and rated for 5 kilograms of load.
So we've... The next question, obviously, is how much is this wonderful tape?
£29 a roll.
Oh, right, okay.
Now that sounds dear, you might think, but let's just put it down into context.
Okay.
You'll get around 10 tools worth on average from a roll. So that's £2.90 a tool.
Yeah.
That is guaranteed on the tool now for 12 months, irrelevant of chemicals and salt water and dust, debris, etc. So if you're typically a worker using the tool 300 days a year, well, that's £2.90 divided by 300. You can see now that it's actually it's not much at all.
Yeah, I know, fabulous. Well, that's really, really fabulous. Now we've got the D-ring on.
Yep.
What would be the application of that? What would we add to it?
So what we would typically do is take a Bungee tool lanyard, for instance. Obviously, that would be anchored at one end to either my wrist or my to the belt. And then the carabiner basically will clip on. Yep. And now we've got a tethered tool. And if it drops, it's only going to go to the end of the lanyard. Yeah,
that's bringing into play your ethos of drop prevention.
That's it.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much for bringing that in to show us. So, Andy, I'm really pleased that you mentioned D-rings and showed us it on the hammer, because when I opened up that box, not only did I see the tape, but I saw these and I thought, do I clip these onto my dog's lead? But now you've explained what they're for. But why the different sizes of D-ring? Okay, so the D-rings basically are a load-certified tethering point that we can use to go on a tool. One of the features they have on them is they have the
a tag that uses the scannable system. So we've got a QR code. That QR code, when scanned, brings up the individual serial number of that component. And then by clicking on the little information box on it, it then brings up all the data and the different load rates in. Why different sizes? Depends on the type of tool, and the weight of the tool being used would depend on which D-ring you went to. So for instance, typically a little set of grips here, we've got a small D-ring on there so that it doesn't get in the way. It's more than adequate for the weight of the tool. Whereas the hammer, a larger tool, we've gone with a larger D-ring.
That's great. And Andy mentioned scannable there. Scannable is a digitalized way of giving an inventory to your PPE equipment. We've just signed up with Scannable in the last week, and we'll be doing a kit room especially about Scannable in the near future. So Andy, you've brought a lot of different products in for us to see today, but I've got to be honest with you, my favourite is this one that I've got attached to me in my phone, because I'm a bit of a butterfingers, drop my phone all the time, and this is just a great way of having your phone, keeping it safe with the phone tether. Can you just talk us through the phone tether, the principle behind it?
Yep, certainly. So the phone tether, and here I've got one not attached. We call it a phone harness. Okay. Because unlike a pouch or something, this is designed to harness your phone. And it's simply applied on the back of the phone. The white bit goes to the top, so it's simply hooked over. And then it will accommodate all sizes of phones. And that's it. It's now on. What's really sort of unique about the way R1 works is a little bit of physics involved. Okay. And you can see very simply that the tethering point is in the middle.
Yes.
If you pull up, you're making the product tighter. If you tether it to the top or the bottom, you're actually trying to pull it off, because that's the way it's gone on. Wow. So by anchoring in the middle and pulling up, it actually gets the thing tighter. So it makes it easy to capture any size phone with that particular harness, and we can position it in such a way that we can get the camera uncovered. And the reason we've used white at the top is that if the edge of it comes into the camera, it tends to disappear out of shot.
Right.
Now, normally we would couple that with a lightweight coil lanyard. So that's rated for 0.5 kilogram, which your phone's nowhere near that.
Well, I love this. It's saved my phone a few times already, because, as I say, I drop it reasonably often. It's important to say it's not a case in its own right, but it is a great bit of kit. And if I remember right, they're about £20 each. Yeah, about that. So for peace of mind to have it, you can get them on our web shop at reaxlimited.com. But just before you go, Andy, what's a whole array of product here? I can see the different shapes and sizes. Obviously going to have different applications. Can you just give us a brief overview of the type of things you have?
So we have really 3 types of lanyard. The first type of lanyard, really, which is very popular, it's called a Bungee lanyard, because it's this extendable Bungee system. One of the things you have to consider when you're looking at a Bungee or a lanyard is the length of the lanyard. Right. Depends on where you're anchored to. So if you're anchored to a wrist, typically it would be a smaller type of lanyard. Whereas if you're anchored off of a belt or a harness, it would be a little bit longer. The key thing is you've got to be able to reach up and get to an arm's length, or it stops you from doing your job.
Of course.
So they come in different lengths. The Bungee lanyard, one of the problems with a Bungee is that you tend to have a lot of coil, and people are worried about getting snagged on things. So a coil lanyard, so this is a steel core with a PU coating on it. The advantage of that is when you're tethered to something, you can see that it sits much tighter to the body, so there's less of a snag hazard there. And the other thing is, out in the elements, it's you can wipe it with a damp cloth and it cleans up very easy. So like all of our products, they've got the scannable tag on, they're load certified. So you've then got to consider what is the tool that you're using. Our principles at Never Let Go is that we should never tether more than 1 kilo of weight to the hand, so to a wrist anchor, not more than 3 kilograms of weight in the tool anchored to yourself.
Okay.
Simply because of the musculoskeletal effects and the potential where there's a snatch load of pulling you over.
Of course.
So greater than that, or with machines that use rotating parts, so spinning saws and things, we would recommend anchoring away from the body. And then you're going to have a longer lanyard for that application. And then it's a case of the weight that's involved. So obviously when you get to something like this, a much heavier style of lanyard. So this is the super heavy, and then we've got a heavyweight lanyard there. We make specialist lanyards that have a ring, for instance, that could be used with chainsaws. And then we have sort of lighter weight at a lower price range. So we have webbing lanyards. Again, the type of clip you get on it, whether we get the rotabiner, which is what we call it, a carabiner with the rotation built in, captive to the product, or we have something like this, which is a quick clip. And you've probably seen something like that before, but we've extended the length of the jaw, so when you press down, you've got to come right down to fully open it to be able to clip into something. So really, that's sort of the key element of it. The other part of it is what's below you. So if you're working above something that's, you know, a glass structure or some incredibly expensive piece of material, the lanyard has got to be short enough that if you drop it, it doesn't get down into the object and strike it.
So Andy, thanks so much for coming in today and for showing us all this wonderful array of equipment. It's that time of the show, friends, where we hand this over.
Hiya, my name's Andy from REAX Training here in windy Blackpool today. I've just literally had these things thrown at me. Never Let Go, bag of tool tethers. I'll be straight with you, I know very little to nothing about their product, and I'll also be 100% honest, I've never actually found a tool tethering system I like. Just a little bit about Never Let Go. First things first, they've kind of won the branding game. If you've not seen their products, their branding is absolutely on point, which, to be honest, for most rope access guys work at height guards, they've won half the battle, really. All right, so let's go and have a look. So, as we were saying there, we've got the NLG bag, plus a random selection of tools. Just so we're clear, there's no one above us now, there's no one in this space, nothing's going to fall on us, hence the no need for helmet. Just come and have a look at this then. So we've got a wide array of tools. So I went with the universal adjustment tool first, classic lump hammer. The magic tape. So apparently this stuff is incredible, this tether tape, but we will need scissors. Got scissors, okay, so we will need a sharp thing for cutting said tape. Just so we're clear, I'm not wearing gloves. I'm pretty sure I'll be all right with these. If it doesn't work out, that's on me, okay? Is that enough? I don't know if that's enough. I don't think that's enough. Let's do more. You can edit this, right? So I'm going to start with the universal adjustment tool. So, to activate the tape, seemingly, if you look, there's like wavy little ridge lines, you might struggle to make that, but when you pull it, you see how you get proper like breaking surf waves? That's apparently the polymer activating, so... Oh, something's happening. Oh, that's actually really easy to work with, to be honest. That surprised me. So now that's actually tethered, which I'm going to be honest, that was straightforward to do, and I'm a bit of a mechanical idiot. That was actually really easy to do. We can either go, just hang that wherever you're hanging it, or logic dictates, if I take a tool tether, I can come through and I could potentially lark's foot it on, I guess. Voila! And just so we're clear about this is quite interesting, I thought. All the NLG stuff, it's one of the few that I've ever seen that have actually got proper ratings on it. And also, if you put your harness inspector opinion on, that's really decent quality structural stitching. I'll level with you now, the only concern I have is this cord. The rest of it looks super robust. I'm just curious to know how long that'll last. So far, so good. Yeah, gotta admit, quite impressed with that. Didn't think I was gonna be. Right, okay, so we're gonna have a look at a slight different variant now, same idea. This time though, I'm not gonna use any tape because NLG do these really cute, if you see this little guy, these little loops, they're saying this is 3 kilos, this little guy, which is pretty impressive. So, I'm gonna keep the little tag on best I can, because that feels fairly robust, and that's also got a scannable QR code on it and stuff like that. So if I take the world's smallest spanner, comes through. So that is 3 kilos. Again, that's easy to install. There's a world of uses for that. While we're talking about tethering different objects and bits and pieces, they gave me an NLG phone holster. Yeah. Now, I'm a moron, hence why I have to buy armoured cases. I break these things all the time. And I was curious, so if I did a standard sort of drop, no dramas. This I am genuinely going to use every day, not just here. Again, the only little concern I have with it, and it might be nothing, it might be something, is just the thickness of some of these cords, but we'll find out. So we're going to have a go at tethering this again now with a tape. The reason I'm sort of electing for this is it's a bit of a different shape to the universal adjustment tool. Again, another question I have for NLG, and I'm pretty sure it must be, the tape must also be rated, because if the tape isn't rated, the whole system falls over, right? I'm going to do a different one this time. This is just a flat spar, so we're just going to put that flat piece of fabric on, tape it on, and see how easy that is to do, really. This time we've elected for the chisel, so I start to pull. Again, I'll be honest, if you have a look, super easy to attach, probably not the tidiest job. This weighs next to not a lot, but again, that sharp edge is why I elected for it. Again, if we have a look, so we've also got a short, what I will technically call a Bungee connector, yes. And 2 lots of tethering done in under 5 minutes. Pretty good, isn't it? Obviously at the minute, under the workout regs, kit should be tethered, we shouldn't be dropping objects, yeah, even if we've got drop zones in. HC are on a push for this at the minute because of falling objects, yeah, we all know this. My argument's always been the same, is it easy? If it's easy, people will do it. So far, and like I say, I've not field tested these things, I'm just being honest, that was easy to do and I'm a mechanical idiot. Okay, so we've been away, done some homework. The tape itself is rated up to 5 kilos. The way they've got around that is they basically weave fiberglass and a polymer through it, so that makes logical sense that the whole system does. The other thing is the choking of the sling bit I was concerned about. They've built it on a 2-to-1 safety factor, so we're absolutely laughing at that. No dramas there. Past that, so a general sort of review of NLG. First things first, installing it on a few different tools and bits and pieces, different tethering systems. Super easy, because this was literally thrown at me. I'm not making that up. I've never installed this before in my life. Second thing about it is the branding. Let's be honest, like, it's pretty. There's a halfway there and highly visible on site, which is a win. So, yeah, NLG gets a thumbs up from me. If you're after any of this stuff or want to know more, just reach out to REAX at Blackpool and we'll hook you up.
So, NLG gear gets the thumbs up, and I've really enjoyed meeting Andy today and all the products. We've got a phrase that we use internally that if a product is good and looks fantastic, we officially say it's Gucci. And I can say for NLG, it's Gucci. Thanks for watching the Kit Room. We'll see you again soon.